This is the 21st show. I'm Brian Mackey. We tend to associate cities like New York and Los Angeles with filmmaking, but there's a lot of movies and TV shows being made here in the Midwest, too, like the hit show The Bear, an ode to Chicago restaurants and Chicago beef.
Don't wipe your hands on your apron, chef.
Chef. I refer to everybody as chef because it's a sign of respect.
And then there's Groundhog Day, of course, the 1993 film starring Bill Murray that, of course, was set in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, but it was mostly filmed right here in Woodstock, Illinois.
100%.
He's stuck
It's Groundhog Day!
in Groundhog Day.
I'm reliving the same day.
According to the Illinois Film Office, 2022 was a record-breaking year. There were writer strikes last year that affected the numbers, so that's why we're looking back to 22. We saw $700 million worth of film production here in Illinois. New and amateur filmmakers are also creating art here in Illinois and giving their local communities a starring role. Chris Hightower is a comedian from Danville, and he's co-producer and lead actor in a film called Irresponsible, and that's spelled B-U-L-L at the end. We'll get to that. Chris, welcome to the 21st show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Listeners, you can join the conversation today. If you have a favorite film or TV show set in Illinois, maybe you've been involved in a film production, let us know. 800-222-9455. That's 800-222-9455. All right, Chris, give us the sort of elevator pitch. Tell us the premise of Irresponsible.
Irresponsible follows my character, Alan, as he is trying to convince his girlfriend that he is responsible enough to be her husband. My goal throughout is to show her my responsibility. And to do that, I tell her that I will watch her niece and nephew for a weekend. And throughout that process, the other lead actor, DeAndre Burns, me and him run into each other, and there's a mishap with a ring that I'm going to use to propose with, and I'm chasing him trying to get the ring because I believe he has it.
Antics ensue, right? All right. Why
Exactly.
Why is the film called Irresponsible, B-U-L-L?
That kind of comes into play towards the middle and end of the film because of the chase for the ring and the miscommunication between my character and DeAndre's character. He's searching for something completely different, and that kind of that is where the bull comes from in the title.
All right, let's listen to a clip. Let's get a taste of this.
Hey, girls, what you guys got going on over here?
Well, genius, I think it's called a lemonade stand. Do you want to buy some?
Oh, genius, huh? For all I know, you and your three little friends could be over here making up secret weapons of mass destruction.
Well, we're not. And this is a legitimate business. And I'm the president.
Oh, the president, eh? What are you girls, 7 years?
8!
All right, Chris, talk about casting this. How do you find actors to be in a film?
Well, I've been doing stand-up for about a decade now, and throughout middle school, high school, and college, I did theater. So for me, I've always been into acting. I always wanted to get into filmmaking. But to get the rest of the cast, it was really a matter of reaching out to individuals that we knew, seeing if they were interested in doing it. So it's an amateur cast. There are no, you know what I'm saying, Leonardo DiCaprios or professional actors and actresses that are in the film. But this was an opportunity to give people that experience, and 3-4 years from now, who knows?
You have a background in video production from Eastern Illinois University. Talk about learning those skills and, in an academic setting, and then what it's like actually putting them into practice in the world.
I graduated from EIU way back in 2008. So the things that I learned there, like, honestly, I don't even know if they are valid anymore.
So, the technology changed a lot.
The technology, everything changed so much. You can do so much more with so much less. There used to be a time where you had a studio full of boards and everything else, and now you can literally do it off of a laptop with a cell phone. So seeing the way that the technology has changed has been pretty cool. As far as the educational process of it, I started off in political science when I first got to EIU, And I was like, I don't want to do this political science stuff. It just it didn't feel right. So I decided to go into media because I always wanted to be Stuart Scott from ESPN. That was like my ultimate dream.
Okay.
So that's when I picked up the electronic media production, and learning all of that and seeing the behind the scenes stuff was extremely interesting to me because you get to see the nuts and bolts of how what's shown to you is put together.
So your day job is not comedian or filmmaker.
Not
ins-
yet. Not
yeah.
yet.
All right. What inspired you to try this? To try making a full film?
Well, my inspiration to start comedy was my son. I work as a home liaison at a middle school in Danville, and I've been working with the school district there for about a decade now. But when I found out that I was going to have a son, I kind of had an early midlife crisis. And that was that everybody tells their kids to chase their dreams. And I didn't know how I could tell my son to chase his if I never chased mine. I just kind of did what I was supposed to do. I went to school, I got a job, I went to college, graduated, did all the things that they tell you to do. But then I decided, okay, I'm going to do this stand-up comedy thing. And when the movie was presented to me by Nate Morris, who is the head of North End Empire, that's the production company that the movie came out under, when he approached me with this, it was almost about 5-6 years ago. He had told me about it because he had brought Lil Wayne to Danville to do a concert. And just saying that sounds crazy. Like, if you know Danville and you know Lil Wayne, those two things don't match.
It is a mismatch, yeah.
Right. But he made it happen. And then after that, he told me, he was like, man, I got a couple of scripts. I'm really about to get into this movie thing. I'm about to make movies. And honestly, I had forgot all about it. And then he hit me up last year and was like, hey, remember I told you about the scripts I had? Remember I sent you one? And I was like, yeah, but that was like 5 years ago. And he was like, well, now's the time. And coming from that mindset of chasing a dream, I was like, okay, if you ready, let's do it.
Let me remind listeners, this is the 21st show. We're talking with local comedian and filmmaker Chris Hightower about a film he has created called Irresponsible. He is from Danville, and he's co-producer and lead actor in this film, and it has a local cast. It was filmed in and around Champaign-Urbana in central Illinois. I want to come back to this idea of being a comedian as sort of like a response to a midlife crisis. This is, to me, stand-up comedy is kind of like, people who go bungee jumping, right? There's like that fear of pain and death, but you gotta be comfortable with that. Talk about that. Was it terrifying for you when you started that?
It wasn't. My entire life, people have always told me, like, you're so funny. And my response would always be, well, I'm conversationally funny. So
right, this is Chris Rock. You can be funny, but that doesn't mean you're a comedian.
Bingo. Yeah. And then I ended up having a coworker at the job that I was at the time. At that time, I worked at Citibank in Danville that was at a Genpack site. So it's like this big warehouse, and they've got all these different companies in this warehouse. And I worked there, and there was a lady coming in to interview for a position, and I was the person that they picked. Hey, Chris, run down there and grab her and bring her down so she can interview. And I went and got her, and we're walking down the hallway, and we're just chatting, and she's introducing herself, and she tells me she does comedy, and then she ends up getting a job. And over the course of about 2-3 months, we became friends, and she is just on my head like, dude, you need to do comedy. Dude, you need to do comedy. And then I found out I was having a son. I had the whole midlife crisis, and one day she came to me at work and was like, hey, I go to Champaign and do stand-up at CU Comedy. And I was like, yeah, I know you've been doing that for a while. And she was like, well, today you're going to come with me, and I'm going to give you my time spot. And I was like, okay, I guess. So I went with her, and I didn't write a joke. I didn't sit there and, like, plan things. I just went up there, and it was just me. And it was the ultimate release. It was like having that it was like having that light bulb go off above your head. And it was like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be on a stage in front of a crowd with a microphone, telling them what I'm thinking, telling them how I feel, and bringing joy to people. because we have so much stuff that goes on in our life nowadays. And when do we really get a release? When do we get a chance to put our phone away and just relax and laugh and realize that we have so much stuff in common? Everybody's different. Everybody's so different. But at the same time, we have so much in common. And that's what comedy was for me. It was a vehicle to really show people that all of our differences make us who we are. And within all of those differences are so many similarities.
All right, we have one more clip from the film. This one takes place at Lincoln Square Mall in Urbana. Let's listen to that.
So what's the total? No problem. Here you go.
Mr. Boss Allen?
What, Britt? My grandma's ring!
I tried to tell you, a guy cleaning up and got the trash.
Trash? My grandma's ring isn't trash?
All right, you wanted this film to be sort of a community process. Talk about making this a community project.
One of the things that I'm most proud of with this film is the fact that we did it. We didn't lean on any organizations, or we didn't lean on any clubs or groups or anything. It was literally a network of friends who were like, hey, you want to make a movie? Well, let's do it. And we did it. And I think that's a mindset that we need more of in our communities. We need that mindset of when we come together, we can achieve so much. It's on Tubi. It's not, Netflix or Paramount Plus or Peacock or any of that. But guess what? The entire country, the entire world can literally go onto an app and watch something that we created. So that to me is the biggest win in all of this, is the fact that it did show that the community can do something like that. We don't, you don't always get the world to just rush to your aid or to see your cause or to see what your vision is. But when you got a community of friends and family and you really rely on your network, you can do amazing things.
Just about a minute left in our time together. Any advice for people who want to try their hands at making a film? What would you say?
There were so many people who, when we came to them and were like, "Do you want to be in it?" They were like, "Man, you ain't gonna make no movie." And now that they've seen we did it, now people are lining up like, "Okay, I want to be in the next one. I want to be in the next one." And to those people, all I'll tell them is to be ready. When you get that opportunity, when you get that call, be ready. I know. One thing that I'm really excited that I'm going to hurry up and announce is that I'm working with the Canopy Club right now here in Champaign to hopefully start an open mic on Sundays. So that'll give individuals a chance to come and give their shot at stand-up. And that could be the same springboard to go from the stage to film. So I just want to keep creating opportunities for my community and for the people in my community to have a chance at maybe chasing a dream.
Chris Hightower is a comedian from Danville. He's the co-producer and lead actor. The film is called Irresponsible. You can find it, as we heard, on Tubi. Chris, thanks for sharing your story with us.
Thank you very much for having me, and I'll see you again.
That's all the time we have for our show today. Coming up on Monday, we are back at the Illinois State Fair. We will talk with the director of the Illinois Department of Natural Resources about her work and that agency's work, about climate change, and about reaching people that the department works with, hunters, fishermen, about putting climate more front and center, more top of mind beyond how it already is. That's all coming up Monday on the 21st show. We love hearing from you about our show, and your suggestion for future guests or stories. You can email us. talk@21stshow.org is the address. You can find that and every other way to contact us, including our voicemail line on our website, 21stshow.org. That's 21stshow.org. We've got our past programs there, and you can find links to subscribe to our podcasts or just look us up on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen. The 21st Show is produced by Anna Casey, Christine Hatfield, and Jose Zepeda. Our digital producer is Stephanie Mosqueda. Technical direction and engineering comes from Jason Croft and Steve Mork. Reginald Hardwick is our news director. The 21st Show is a production of Illinois Public Media. I'm Brian Mackey. Thanks for listening. We'll talk with you again on Monday.